Hi guys, I'm Daria Teller, and this is another edition of The Higher Authority. With me to my left is Doug Wald, to my right, Aaron Frenchman, and we're going to talk about LinkedIn and a new report that just came out of the top 10 hot jobs. Doug, take us through it.
And on the next area of LinkedIn's top 10 growth areas for jobs will be strategic advisors and business consultants, kind of things we talked about earlier around, looking at strategies, looking at different, data sets that are going to be important to making those investment decisions. What does the market look like around private equity, investment funding, things of that nature. And then somebody that does have, that gravitas, somebody that has the leadership, understands what those companies will need, what their budgets will look like, what their teams will look like, what their staffing will look like. So people that have that level. So there's going to be a lot of new company investment. There's going to be a lot of startups taking shape again as funding and interest rates cuts come from the Federal Reserve. So there's going to be a lot more consultants in the business space again for most of the primary areas. So, but it's going to be pretty hot.
Including staffing.
Yep,
Well,
that's exactly
exactly.
right. Yeah.
And I think that consultants come in very, very heavy for us because we do a lot of consulting for our clients.
100%.
I mean, it's not just about the staffing that we're doing. We're telling them about the market trends. We're telling them what we're seeing. We're telling them about the salary cap or, or about their competitors or about what's coming down the pipeline for them in the next quarter because we're privy to certain information. And I think that's what makes us so valuable is that we're able to be the consultants for them, not only staffing.
Yeah,
I think it's just another thing we offer.
exactly to that point, understanding talent pools, understanding competition, understanding market shifts, understanding where investments are taking shape. So, we're on the ground, we're having these conversations every day. So, we certainly serve in a consultant capacity. I think we do a pretty good job of it. So,
I mean, we had a meeting yesterday with a high-level client who flat out asked us and said, listen, we have an idea of what we want to pay, but we'd really love you to come back to us and tell us what the market bears. If we're wrong, we're going to listen.
Yeah.
And that is part of what we do. I mean, it's not just telling them that you should pay more so we get paid more. Very nice.
Exactly.
But providing that information makes you invaluable. And consulting is not just wagging your finger and telling people that the way you're doing it is wrong. It gives them a competitive advantage. Your company has a competitive advantage, the better information that you're getting from someone who's locked in. You can't be locked in on everything.
And listen, I mean, for the most part, when I'm doing something like that for one of my clients, I'm explaining to them why. I'm not just telling them this is what's happening. I'm explaining to them this is why things are happening. This is how we're getting to this evaluation, and we're really helping them a lot. By being their consultants and being their partner. We're not just a vendor; we're a partner of theirs, and I think that's very important. So, strategic advisors and business consultants, number 7 on the list. We're in for it. We're in for it.
absolutely.
And that brings us to number 8.
Yep, and number 8 is an interesting one, advertising sales specialists. What we're seeing now, and it goes back to
This
data.
one surprised me. I was a little surprised.
A little bit, yeah. Well, the way advertising's been lately, because they've been kind of, it's been an up and down market for them for the last, year or two. But I think because of, brands want to advance. They want to show their innovation. They want to show their customer experience. They want to show personal touch. They want to show, and double down. And, we saw some of this during the pandemic where companies like Uber were like, don't ride with us, right? And that was a resonating thing at that time where they're going against the grain. So advertising companies and marketing companies really need to advance those brands and be able to sell the full package. Everything's integrated now. Is it offline? Is it digital? Is it social media? Is it search, paid search? So obviously video or traditional broadcast. So companies need to drive that particular type of branding and drive that type of innovation message to their companies or their customers. So they need strong sales specialists to go out and be able to identify, build custom packages to help companies advance those brands. So it's an exciting time for marketing and certainly for advertising. So
And not to sound like a broken record, but AI.
Yep.
AI advertising is going to be huge coming from things, and it certainly is going to give companies an opportunity for a creative leg up. Whoever figures out how to use AI to give them a unique edge, they're going to get a jump on their competitors.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And most of those primary areas are going to be, you know, in New York, but also we're seeing growth for advertising in other markets you wouldn't think of, like Detroit or Atlanta. And that's what LinkedIn is calling out some of those geographies with advertising growth. So something to watch out for.
So, yeah, advertising. Really, the next big number 9 on the LinkedIn Hot 10 list is startup companies. I mean, I'm going to say it. This is America. We have the entrepreneurial spirit,
We do.
but there has been a tremendous uptick, and it continues with startup companies. People really planting their flag, and whether it's in a consistent, tried and true industry, or people venturing out into new things and seeing if they can get out ahead, you're seeing a lot of startup companies in really interesting, not just AI, but in personal and professional services, in
Well, I think social media has given them such a platform now too.
Without a doubt.
Where years ago you didn't have that, but right now you could start anything. Go to TikTok, go to Instagram, go to Facebook, go wherever, you know, and really throw your platform out there and see what kicks. So I think that's probably part of why people feel like I can give it a shot. What do I have to lose? I almost have the free advertising. In those social media platforms, and I think that's probably part of why we're seeing that, and we're seeing it New York, Los Angeles, and I think San Francisco. So I think those are
into Texas, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think though the social media helps these people
Yeah,
really give it a shot.
without a doubt. On the channel side and on the branding side that we talked about earlier, you know, that's certainly a good vehicle, but I think you're starting to see a wagon circling around investment banking, looking at new IPOs. IPOs will pick up this year, looking at private equity investment, like you said earlier. So, so you know, looking at those different areas where there could be great data, great market trends, where are there new markets that aren't even carved out? And, you know, we're seeing this with AI, like there's a lot of stuff you don't know, right? So startups have that entrepreneurial spirit. They are starting to see a lot of funding from, you know, those different investment communities and such. So, so it kind of, you know, held off like in the last year or so, but you're going to start to see more IPOs. You're going to start to see more of that type of thing, and you're going to see a lot of cool startups. I mean, you know,
I love it.
Companies that like Anthropic was a startup. You know, Amazon was a startup.
I
Google
know.
was a startup,
Can you
right?
believe
right?
Amazon?
Yeah, all of them, right? So, you know, think about it. You know, 20 years ago they were startups, right? Pretty much. So, or 25 years ago, but you know, so there's that next wave of innovation that you're going to see for those types of companies and those type of entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
And
like
that social media aspect of it also opens up startup companies to a much younger demographic.
Oh, without a doubt.
yeah.
You know, where in years past to start a business, you know, maybe in your 30s or 40s.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
You have kids coming out of high school with
Kids in
great
high school,
idea.
yeah.
And 100 million in market cap, you know, you know, out of the gate. So God bless them. But no, that's a great point. No, for sure.
Where you headed to college? No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sold my startup to Google.
Yeah,
I'm headed
right.
to an island.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Yep. And good for them.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
true.
Not my kids.
Yep. All right.
I
And
don't
then,
know,
and
mine
then
might do it. We'll see.
Yep.
So.
And then
Number 10, yeah.
rounding up the top 10 for LinkedIn's top 2026 opportunities and job growth is sales executives.
Yeah.
You know, you always need salespeople to go to market, be
Business
able to tell the
development is
story,
key.
do the demos, you know, talk about the value of that product or that service.
Right.
You know, and again, you know, I think companies get their planning, you kind of, again, round up, kind of squared it up, and now they want to go to market to advance their innovations and their brands and, you know, things like that. So,
You know, I'm a 25 plus year in the industry salesperson. I love my operations and creative friends, but in most industries, sales drives the bus. If you don't have good salespeople getting out your product or service, doesn't matter how great it is.
No, that's true. It's
You
true.
know?
If you don't, I mean, it ties in, you know, number 10 sales really ties into like, you know, with 7, with the you know, the whole marketing team. I think it was 7 or 8. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but But I think the sales really drives the business. If you don't have the sales, you could do a million fantastic things. There are so many people that do a million fantastic things, but nobody knows about it.
Well, how many great products or services are out there or were out there that never made it?
Right.
Because they didn't have the right people
It's
selling.
true.
it.
Right.
It's true.
And you could have the
So-
right innovation to that point, the right innovation, the right roadmap, and all of it. It could be the best product ever, right, or service ever. But unless you have the right, field people, solution engineers, people on the front end, back end, but somebody to get in the door and show that value or that metric of where that company's going to get ROI out of that product or service. You need those people to be able to communicate, collaborate, understand what their pain points and their needs are going to be, and then be able to drive it forward. So sales rounds out our top 10 list at number 10.
I can't see sales ever not being on the list.
No.
No, yeah.
No.
I think that's one of those things that
It's
will,
also one of the things that AI is never going to replace.
Right.
right.
It'll
yeah.
supplement it.
It'll
Yeah,
supplement
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Right.
It'll make salespeople better.
That's
Right.
exactly.
It'll give
It's doing,
salespeople more tools.
and it's doing that
Right.
now. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
but you're right. I don't think you'd ever see a top 10 without sales.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so, all right, well, this has been Higher Authority. Thank you again for watching. I'm Darian. It's
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Doug.
And he's Doug. All right, we would love to hear from you. Please send us your comments, suggestions, questions at info@execsally.com. Thanks.